If you're tracking retail supply chains or keeping an eye on shifting consumer trends, you are in exactly the right place. Today, I'm putting on my retail consultant hat for a high-level strategic briefing on a massive shift happening right under our noses. We're talking about the evolving market dynamics between genuine leather and synthetic alternatives. In this explainer, we'll break down the data to show you exactly how this material divide is completely reshaping the global retail landscape.
And that brings us to the central question driving today's retail strategy. Has synthetic leather finally become a serious existential threat to the genuine leather market? Is real leather actually losing market share, or does it still maintain an iron grip on those premium tiers? That's the core puzzle we're going to solve today.
Because here's the macro observation. Walk into almost any modern retail store today, and you're going to see a pretty fascinating reality. Genuine and synthetic options are now coexisting on almost every retail floor. What's absolutely wild is that high-end synthetics have become so visually identical to the real thing that to the naked, untrained eye, it's getting harder and harder to tell the difference. You'll literally find products made from animal hides sitting right next to synthetic alternatives, locked in a fierce side-by-side competition that simply didn't exist at this scale just a few decades ago.
So here's our roadmap for this briefing. 1. The retail floor reality. 2. Material profiles and applications. 3. Drivers of market shifts. 4. Genuine leather's premium moat. 5. Assessing the sustainability debate. And 6. Strategic outlook and future.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the retail floor reality. To really appreciate where we are, you kind of have to understand where we started. Historically, genuine leather absolutely dominated most retail categories. I mean, it was the default material for durable, quality goods. But over the last few decades, a major market disruption fractured the landscape, creating this highly competitive, bifurcated material ecosystem that we're dealing with today.
Moving right along to Section 2, material profiles and applications.
Let's dive into this head-to-head comparison. On one side, we have genuine leather produced from animal hides. Its strategic advantages: extreme durability, a highly sought-after natural appearance, a premium feel, and a really long lifespan. On the flip side, we have synthetic leather, specifically PU and PVC, which are manufactured using plastic-based materials. Their strategic advantages are a much lower cost, a highly consistent appearance that is super easy to mass-produce without variation, and of course, an animal-free positioning.
And because these attributes are so wildly distinct, the market naturally splits them up. Genuine leather gets allocated to luxury handbags, premium footwear, high-end furniture, and premium auto interiors. Conversely, synthetic leather is essentially the engine for fast fashion, budget accessories, basic upholstery, and entry-level footwear. As a consultant analyzing this data, what I see are two totally different materials strategically deployed to serve entirely different market segments.
All right, Section 3, drivers of market shifts. So what's pushing this disruption? It basically boils down to 3 key supply and demand forces. Step 1 is cost pressure. Brands actively went looking for lower-cost alternatives, and synthetics offered highly predictable pricing and supply, especially compared to the volatile commodities market of agricultural hides. Step 2 is fast fashion growth. Fast fashion brands desperately need materials that can be produced quickly and economically at massive scale. PU leather perfectly answered that call. And Step 3 is shifting consumer trends. Younger consumer demographics have increasingly demanded vegan and animal-free products, which practically forced mass-market brands to heavily introduce synthetic alternatives just to capture that revenue.
That brings us to Section 4, genuine leather's premium moat.
Now, despite the explosive mass-market growth of synthetics we just talked about, genuine leather maintains an incredible resilience in the premium segment. Why is that? Well, it comes down to 4 core values that luxury consumers fiercely protect: craftsmanship, the unique natural aging process of real hides, extreme durability, and brand heritage. For high-end brands, genuine leather isn't just a fabric, it's a vital symbol of absolute quality and status, and that creates a massive economic moat that synthetics have really struggled to cross.
Let's transition to Section 5, assessing the sustainability debate.
Now, evaluating sustainability in this space is incredibly complex, and as consultants, we really have to assess it strictly as supply chain risk. So let's map out the vulnerabilities and defenses of both materials objectively. For synthetics, supporters argue the major benefit is that no animal hides are used, and production scales easily. The challenges? Well, many are petroleum-based plastics, introducing serious risks regarding microplastic pollution, difficult disposal, and limited biodegradability. For genuine leather, supporters argue it actually utilizes a byproduct of the meat industry that would otherwise just go to waste. Plus, high-quality items can last for decades, keeping them out of landfills. The big takeaway here for any retail strategist is that this debate is constantly evolving, and neither side currently offers a perfect zero-impact solution.
Finally, let's wrap things up with Section 6, Strategic Outlook and Future.
Look, if you're expecting a winner-take-all scenario, forget about it. The future is an evenly segmented three-tier market. The premium segment will see continued strong demand for genuine leather. The mass market segment will see the growing widespread use of PU and alternatives. And sitting right there in the middle, the mid-market segment will exist as a highly competitive mix of both materials, fluctuating depending on a specific brand's target demographic and price point.
But hey, the supply chain isn't stopping with just animal hides and petroleum plastics. We're actually tracking next-generation material innovations right now that will soon disrupt this segmented market all over again. Keep your eyes on bio-based materials, plant-derived alternatives, and recycled composites. This kind of cutting-edge scientific innovation is exactly what's going to shape the next major chapter of retail manufacturing.
So, the ultimate takeaway? Both of these materials have highly distinct, non-overlapping roles. Synthetics are winning the game on affordability and mass accessibility, while genuine leather thrives on craftsmanship and durability. The successful retail strategy of the future isn't about choosing one to completely replace the other. It's about analyzing the data to understand exactly where each material creates the absolute most strategic value for the consumer.
I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought to consider. As this market continues to firmly segment itself based on cost, sustainability, and status, where will your favorite brands, or even your own company, find its value? Will synthetic materials and lab-grown alternatives continue to aggressively eat up market share, or will genuine leather forever remain the ultimate premium choice? Think about that the next time you step onto the retail floor. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.